Yeah, let's watch fern video about the most genius FBI operation. I don't know where did that happen or when it happened, but let's see what he got about. I mean, bro, his animation is always so sick. But let's see.
It's a quiet morning in an Australian suburb. The streets are still. The neighborhood sleeps soundly. In a few seconds, the silence will come to an abrupt end.
Ooh.
Armed
Sheesh.
officers will
That even scared me, bro. But golly, look at that nice animation, bro.
storm through family homes.
Okay.
Armed officers will storm through family homes. Flashlights will cut through the darkness, illuminating the startled faces of criminals, violently ripped from their sleep. Scenes like these will happen all across the world. A global storm is coming down on organized crime. As the sun is rising from Asia to Europe and finally to the Americas, police in 16 countries will strike. They will raid drug labs, secret warehouses, and
hundreds arrested in global crime. Sting after underworld app is hacked. What? European and Australian police join forces with FBI to seize weapons, drugs, and 148 million in cash.
private residences. Around 9,000 police officers
When did this
will make
happen?
over 800 arrests.
Wow.
Nearly 40 tons of drugs,
Wow.
countless weapons, and millions in cash and crypto will be seized.
Operation Trojan Shield.
This first-of-a-kind global operation.
When was this?
And operation
Biggest criminals
2021.
Entire
Oh.
organized crime rings will cease to exist from 1 minute to the next. It will be the final act of Operation Trojan Shield,
Trojan
the largest
Shield.
sting operation ever, orchestrated by the FBI and Europol. At the
Okay.
heart of it all is this phone.
Oh, really? Need evidence gone ASAP. Ooh, this looks hard, dude. This looks sick. I feel like this is gonna be a sick
This
video.
video is partially based on the book Dark Wire by Joseph Cox. Cox
Okay.
is an investigative journalist. He went deep into the criminal underworld for his research.
Mm.
Due to the nature of some anonymous sources, we are unable to verify all the information independently. We highly recommend checking out the book.
Okay, if you guys want, you can. How criminals communicate, chapter 1. Let's get it.
I have a cargo ship with captain on side too. They want to throw over load as they leave.
When can we start?
I have a job ready as tomorrow to pick up. It's already here.
This is a real conversation between two drug traffickers, sent via an encrypted phone. Encrypted phones are very special devices. They often lack functions like camera and GPS and are designed to enable more privacy. People use these phones when they don't want to be tracked.
Never seen any.
Politicians,
Never.
military, corporations, a wide range of people use privacy-focused devices. The market for these phones is massive. For obvious reasons, they are also very appealing to criminals.
Okay.
Encrypted phones are often modified consumer phones with additional privacy tools. Sky ECC, EncroChat, and Phantom Secure, to name a few, are
These
big
companies.
players in the crime world.
Ah.
Secure phones like these don't come cheap. Phantom Secure,
I'm sure.
for example, charges up to $2,000 for a 6-month subscription.
Uh-huh.
This is the price you pay for absolute privacy.
I feel, you know what I feel like what gonna happen? Because few other videos we have seen from Fern about cases like this, that the criminal would have this kind of a phone and they would, and this is kind of subscription based as it is for $2,000 for 6 months, and police can, if they really want to investigate, they can ask Phantom Secure to, you know, show them all the records of these phones. And yeah, of course, what they will see is sus, what they will see is shady stuff going on, because a normal person like me or you, I don't think so we would pay 2,000 for 6 months for you know, for a very secure phone without camera or GPS and stuff like that. So it's always used for shady stuff. So I'm sure, I feel like police gonna look into it and they're gonna find all these people doing different kinds of crimes.
Some of these phones come with a very handy feature.
So, he picked up the load, and I think he's been arrested and in need. There's a lot of evidence and shit on my BlackBerry. Yeah, I need that evidence gone. ASAP. 1 sec. But the thing is, cops can't access it, right?
They can't even access that anyways, yeah?
If a phone is ever compromised, a remote wipe command known as kill switch can be activated.
Oh.
This kill switch wipes all the data from the phone,
Oh.
making it completely useless.
Oh.
For law enforcement, this
Did
is
not
a
know
nightmare.
that.
Even if police manage to seize one of these devices, all potential evidence can be destroyed remotely. Over the past few years, law enforcement has aggressively cracked down on encrypted phone companies. One by one, companies like Phantom Secure and Sky ECC were shut down,
Okay.
leaving behind a massive vacuum. As in any industry, a vacuum presents an opportunity, and one man seeks to seize it.
Setting the
It is
trap.
2018. A rather dodgy businessman has an idea. He goes by the name Afgu. Afgu is an expert when it comes to encrypted phones, selling Phantom Secure devices to criminals. He's a bit of a geek, but not much of a coder. Previously, Afgu worked alongside one of Australia's most notorious drug traffickers, Hakan Ayak. Known as the Facebook gangster for publicly documenting his criminal lifestyle online, Ayak is deeply connected in the underworld. Observing the gap left by all those encrypted phone companies going down, Afgu hatches a plan. He wants to launch the next big encrypted phone.
I knew it.
ANØM
ANØM.
devices.
That's why I was thinking, why? See here, around here, he was showing ANØM and I was like, okay, what is ANØM? Like,
Are
okay.
essentially off-the-shelf Google Pixel phones, modified to run a custom operating system called Arcane OS.
Oh.
This is where it gets
like
interesting.
iOS or Android, you know?
At first glance, it looks like any other phone. There's apps like Tinder, Netflix, and Spotify.
Oh, this is a real video of a guy using that. Okay, that's cool. The video was designed by FBI. Oh.
But when you tap them, nothing happens. They're just dummies.
Oh, damn, dude. Okay, I see. So looks like real,
ANØM
but
phones
not
come with
really.
several special features. One of them is pin scrambling. It randomly shuffles the numbers on the keypad, making it difficult for anyone nearby to figure out your passcode.
Okay, that's normal, I think so. I mean, not on phone passcodes, but if you have a bank app in your phone and stuff like that, many bank apps do that. They change the number, so yeah, other people don't know you.
Real magic is unlocked when you enter a different pin. When you unlock the phone this way, you only see these three apps: settings, the clock, and a calculator. The calculator works just like a normal one, but if you enter a special code, the heart of the device reveals itself. The ANØM messenger.
Ooh, the messenger unlocks like that. Sheesh.
It allows you to chat with an ANØM user anonymously. In case things go south, the phone also has a kill switch. ANØM will soon become a thriving tech startup for organized crime, and Afgu will become its CEO. But his true plan goes far beyond that.
Okay.
I get this call from this lawyer who I've never heard of, and who basically said, I want to meet you tomorrow.
Okay. San Diego.
This is Andrew Young. He works for the Department of Justice in San Diego, California.
Kinda looks old, not really young. You got it?
Young and his team are meeting the mysterious attorney. His client, none other than Afgu. Turns out the lawyer reached out to broker a deal. Afgu is offering his product, ANØM, to the FBI. The offer, Afgu will build the next generation of privacy phones, and law enforcement will have total access. A hidden back door. The ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card for Afgu, in case he ever needed one. His personal intentions for that are not clear. Presumably, there's already a lot of dirt on them. Afgu's attorney pitches the phone to the authorities like a Silicon Valley tech demo. Andrew Young and his team quickly realize this could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. What could be more valuable than having control over thousands of devices designed for criminals?
Okay.
Young and the FBI agreed to work with Afgu. But many questions remain unanswered. How should the backdoor be implemented in ANØM? And how do you get criminals to start using the phones? And there is of course another major problem. Without evidence of a crime, spying on phones inside the US is illegal. Young is concerned the operation might not get approved by the Department of Justice. So the FBI reaches out to Australian law enforcement instead, and they seem to be stoked by the idea.
Okay.
With the help from the Australian Federal Police, AFP, the first ANØM phones can hit the black market in Australia. The trap is set.
Whoa. So this guy made ANØM OS or a trap phone, and he's like, hey, here FBI or police department, I made this software or OS operating system for hack phones or trap phones, and we can collaborate in this, and we can find more criminals, I guess, and we're gonna sell these phones all around the country, and which in US they wasn't able to. Then they tried Australia and they were like, okay, cool, sick, let's get it. And then they distributed all those phones around the world, around the Australia, and that's how they're gonna see. Then of course this guy is a CEO, he knows all what these phones are running, what they are doing in it, so then they're gonna start trying to catch the criminals. I guess that's the way how it's gonna go. Let's see. Next chapter, the startup.
Months go by as Afku builds his company. The FBI remains hidden in the shadows. He hires coders from around the globe. They all work from home, completely unaware of their real employer. As CEO, Afku collaborates closely with law enforcement. They soon manage to implement a backdoor that allows the Australian police to gather intelligence from ANØM phones. The FBI is still left out. The mechanism is straightforward. When a user sends a message to another user, that message is silently copied and redirected to a third location, controlled by the authorities. The users will not notice a thing.
Okay.
Now, ANØM just needs
Not
users.
really a trap
The
phone,
strategy is to rely on word of mouth, just like any other product in the criminal underworld. Afku starts handing out ANØM phones to Australian criminals for free. They in turn tell others of the device, and so on and so forth. After a series of tests, the moment of truth arrives. An Australian AFP officer stares at his screen in anticipation. He can hardly believe his eyes when the first intercepted message appears. All the hard work has finally paid off.
So all these people, they are finding.
It's 2019. ANØM has several hundred users. Demand is skyrocketing.
Okay.
Deliveries are spreading all over the country.
Okay.
Drug traffickers, Italian mobsters, and bike gangs, all of them are using ANØM to discuss business. Meanwhile, the AFP is meticulously monitoring every message, gaining invaluable insights into criminal operations. But the FBI is still not allowed to read the messages. Young needs approval from higher ranks. After a lot of meetings and persuasion, he finally gets what he wants. His approach is somewhat dubious, though. Running servers with intercepted messages on US soil is prohibited, and Australia is legally not allowed to share their intelligence. The FBI needs another country to host the operation and pass on the information to them. Young reaches out to members of the EU, searching for a willing partner to help.
Okay.
Finally, Lithuania volunteers to host the FBI servers.
Oh.
Let's put a pin into these legal shenanigans for a moment, though. For now, Operation Trojan Shield can finally kick into high gear.
Operation Trojan Shield.
This is Swedish drug trafficker Maximilian Rivkin.
Oh.
His nickname is Microsoft. He
Oh.
has scars on his
Cool
hands and
name.
fingers. His right arm shows a tattoo with 3 monkeys. Don't see, don't speak, don't listen. Microsoft runs a meth lab in Sweden and is well connected in the country's underbelly. He uses EncroChat to communicate with his accomplices. In the summer of 2020, Microsoft receives a weird message. In fact, every EncroChat user receives this message at that very moment. Law enforcement in Europe is cracking down.
Your device to power off. Oh, okay, like, oh, emergency, power off your device. It's not safe anymore. The, law enforcement can see what you are sending. Hurry up. That kind of message.
On the encrypted phone company. Microsoft is screwed and urgently needs a new, safer way to conduct his business. So he travels to Istanbul.
Oh, Turkey. Turkey,
Here he
yeah.
meets Hakan Ayak, the infamous Facebook gangster.
Oh.
Ayak is working on expanding ANØM's reach and sees enormous potential in the company. The meeting leads to a new business partnership. Both men are convinced that ANØM is the future of encrypted communication for criminals. Together, they set a goal: push ANØM globally and become its biggest resellers. Back in Sweden, Microsoft wastes no time. He begins recruiting a network of people to help distribute ANØM phones across the country. With the downfall of EncroChat, ANØM grows at insane speeds.
Oh.
But users are skeptical. After the recent crackdown, everyone is extremely cautious. Trusting this new phone company is a huge risk. To build credibility, Microsoft tells others that ANØM's founder is on the run from the FBI. If even the FBI can't crack the platform, they all should be safe. In a fairly foolish display of trust, he even sends photos of his own Swedish ID card over anom to reassure his contacts. Meanwhile, law enforcement is watching the whole drama from a distance. FBI agents are analyzing all the messages, including those from Microsoft. Everything is unfolding just as planned. Anom spreads autonomously and self-propelled within the criminal underworld. But one day, an officer reads a series of very concerning messages. Apparently, Microsoft is planning to murder a former cafe owner in Stockholm. Convinced that the man owes him $800,000, Microsoft hires a hitman. In a group chat, the hitman suggests to disguise himself as a delivery driver, approach the target's door, and take him out on the spot. Microsoft loves this. At this point, the Swedish police realize the threat is about to become real. The police has no choice but to warn the target. The assassination fails. Anom is never mentioned as a source. It's 2021. Anom has spread at a phenomenal rate. With around 12,000 users and millions of messages sent in 45 different languages, the sheer volume of data has become overwhelming. FBI agents are sifting through countless messages from all over the world, ranging from drug deals and murder-for-hire schemes to money laundering operations.
It's too much now.
And even the occasional unsolicited pic. When lives are at risk, the police are forced to intervene. Anom, however, can never be named as a source during fieldwork, or the entire operation would be exposed. The secrecy of the operation is paramount. With every new user, this problem multiplies. Eventually, the flood of intelligence becomes too much to process. At the same time, Lithuania's court order is coming to an end. Without Lithuania, where the Anom servers are running, the FBI cannot spy on people anymore. After 4 years, Operation Trojan Shield needs to end. But when it does, it sends shockwaves through global organized crime.
There we go. There they are.
Operation
Trojan Shield. Global operation. Biggest investigation and operation. Biggest criminal sting ever.
They came for everybody, huh?
Anom users all around the world are waking up to a nightmare. Heavily armed law enforcement enters their home, somehow fully and thoroughly aware of all their illegal dealings. Later that day, the FBI comes out publicly and reveals the secret behind Anom.
For the first time, the FBI developed and operated its own hardened encrypted device company called ANØM.
I mean, you weren't the one. The ANØM was the other guy who mainly made that FBI. Come on.
Law enforcement agencies across the globe celebrate their unprecedented victory.
This investigation, called Operation Trojan Shield, shined a light into the shadowy industry of hardened, encrypted devices.
This is a watershed moment in Australian law enforcement history.
Operation Trojan Shield results in
Best
hundreds of
W's
arrests,
for them, man.
the dismantling of major criminal networks, and the seizure of enormous quantities of drugs, weapons, and illicit funds. The evidence seized by the police is staggering. It feels like the ultimate triumph against organized crime. It certainly is the biggest sting operation in FBI history, probably in all of history. But as the dust settles, a harsh reality begins to emerge. This mission, hailed as a success, could potentially turn into a massive failure.
What's the last chapter? Limbo.
To this day, over 27 million Anom messages have been collected. Based on this intelligence, over 800 arrests have been made. But experts are growing increasingly skeptical about whether Anom's chats will be admissible in court. That's because the evidence may have been obtained through potentially illegal means. A German court has already set a precedent, ruling that Anom chats cannot be used as evidence in trials because they cannot be physically linked to the suspects. In the case of 3 drug traffickers arrested in Germany, the court only approved physical evidence for trial, dismissing the encrypted messages gathered from Anom. In Australia, legal uncertainty has already delayed a major trial, with the court grappling over whether the data collected through Anom's back door can be used to convict suspects. If courts worldwide continue to reject the Anom chat evidence, hundreds of cases could be thrown into jeopardy. Criminals who are caught red-handed through these communications could potentially walk free, despite their obvious involvement in serious crimes. Other courts declared Anom's messages as lawfully obtained. Trials will likely go through higher instances in many cases, dragging on for years. It's unclear how many Anom users will ultimately be convicted. While official press releases praise the number of murders supposedly prevented, there's a troubling silence regarding those that were not. According to Joseph Cox, at least one assassination of a Swedish man was meticulously planned in ANØM chats and executed while authorities observed in real time.
Damn.
As these cases become mired in legal limbo, an uncomfortable question arises. Was Operation Trojan Shield actually worth it? If key evidence is dismissed and trials are delayed or overturned, the operation's long-term impact may be far smaller than law enforcement had hoped. And there's another dilemma here, one that affects us all. It's about privacy. Today, almost every popular messenger is end-to-end encrypted. Preserving privacy is essential. It's a basic right. Encryption technology is not just for criminals. Journalists, human rights activists, and dissidents from authoritarian regimes rely on encrypted messaging. Privacy concerns all of us. Data abuse can affect anybody. You might instinctively want to respond that you have nothing to hide. Even if that were true, what if you lived in a totalitarian state rather than a liberal democracy? Would that stance still hold?
Okay, nice, man. Good video. Another W video as expected from Fern. But yeah, dude, this was kind of genius, not gonna lie. W's to the guy, the CEO of ANØM, who reached out to FBI after making that OS, the operating system he made for that phone, and yeah, helping them kind of stop all these crimes going on in many countries, you know. But yeah, overall cool, and W's for FBI as well, because I mean they did made a lot of arrests, I get it, but they also had to remove or leave them or stop those arrests because court said that it was those messages was not really a good evidence to prove them that they are guilty for those crimes. I mean, I get it, that's kind of true, or kind of kind of fair that a simple text cannot identify your whole life in prison or a jail, you can say. But yeah, they needed but I'm sure they did caught many crimes, or they did caught many criminals red-handed or having some kind of illegal stuff at their places where they were living, where they arrested them at, so yeah. But this was very genius actually, but yeah, good. I never heard about this ANØM, of course. Kind of makes sense, because I did not know that how all this works, or how these phones or trap phones works and all that. But yeah, very good that this guy really collaborated kind of with FBI or police department to really stop all the crimes which were going on, but yeah, and I'm happy that they arrested many of them red-handed, or it was not like they left many of them because there wasn't enough evidence to prove that, but I'm sure they got many of them in the jail or prison because of their crimes which they were doing, especially with the cocaine and many of the drugs, you can say, but yeah, very nice, good investigation, and amazing videos, amazing visuals, or you can say animation by Fern team, man, amazing as always. But yeah, good video.